by writing a petition to the authorities, writing a petition to the minister, writing a petition to the castle. Nothing bars the NDC youth from writing a petition, but using force to seize a toilet, to lock district chief executives from entering the office, going to the NHIS office to lock them, to sack the workers from there, is not the best for young and growing democracy. Ghana has gone past that kind of confrontation. The confrontation act of pressure, you are putting in your demands for something, and again they are over demanding from their ministers. Well, I don't know if it was the campaign promises that they were relying on. They were promised to be given a job, but the job are not forthcoming. The NDC leaders must also take a means to control their youth. And when all this pressure given to government officials, the DCs and staff came up, I've never witnessed a single incident whereby these people have been handed over to the police, because they continue to do it with impunity. And I don't think it's the best for our country. It's when it comes to the discipline aspect of it. So the youth must be called to order. The youth must be called to order too. Exercise some restraint for their DC's minister. I have a problem with sacking the Upper West Regional Minister, that is Mahmoud Khalid. For example, the man was performing to the best of my knowledge. The man was performing. Mahmoud Khalid was a fine minister for the Upper West, but the NDC people put pressure on the man to the point that the president has to disappoint, or if I can use that word, disengage him or relieve him of his position, right? So again, going to the office of DCs, deflating car tires, towing a car away. We can't just understand this situation, how things are moving on, right? So they must be called to order, to at least we have some decency and sanity in how we present our petition and our grievances to the authority. Using force is never done anywhere. So Ghana must not be an exception. Using force to press in your demands is not the best. So they should be called to order. And again, the security persons must also take it on, because we can have a situation where whereby the police on their own accord can go and arrest or invite somebody for causing alarm and public panic. So if the police can do that, they can also do the same by calling to order and arresting the people who are taking force to pressure in or doing certain things that contravenes the Constitution and the Public Order Act. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And it's coming from Ampon Samen, and 2 minutes after 9, still on your community watch on Focus 94.3. Bismarck, or say a champion.
I think what's happening right now in this country, clearly tells us that we have a weak political leadership in the person of Professor John Evans Atta-Mills. For me, I think the authority upon which this country has been vested is clearly on the wrong footing, and the government is not performing as they are claiming that they are performing. The Deputy Minister of Information, had the gas to come and tell us that the government has created 1.6 million jobs. And where is it? If this government has been able to create 1.6 million jobs, with most of the youth being actively engaged in some of these jobs, would they be doing this sort of impunity that we are witnessing within the political context of our country? I don't think some of these things would have happened. Were we hearing some of these things when the MPP was in power? When President Kufuor was in power, were you hearing that people were going to mob DCs, deflating tires of cars, seizing, auctioning cars and here and there? Were you hearing some of these things? But right now, we are witnessing it. And it is telling us that this government is not performing. It lied to win political power from the people. And that's the more reason why they should be voted out of power in the year 2012. Because they have clearly shown and indicated by virtue of the action and inaction that they are not on top of situations. And Chairman, one very significant thing is that with all this impunity happening, the security personnel are not acting the way they should act. Opening, you remember when this MPP commentator, this MPP commentator, Nana Dakwa, when he commented on the Valentine fire, you also what happened to him. And this man who is in Kumasi, who high priest on Fox FM, you all remember what happened to him. But this,
what happened to high priest?
Oh, the police went there to invite him. Why they were saying that they were protecting him, but not knowing that he was going to be prosecuted for what he said. And at the end of the day, some people have to come in before he was released. And with all this impunity happening, we haven't heard just a single day that the security personnel has come out to say that they are going to arrest them. I mean, remember when a certain situation happened in Wa, the police bureau in Wa, Ebenezer Tete, had the guts to come and tell Ghanaians that this is a political action and so they are not going to arrest. Should we sit down in this country for political action to cause harm and vindictiveness in the society? Please. We are not living in a jungle. We are not in a stateless state. We are in a state whereby rules and regulations are working.
Okay.
Whereby we have submitted ourselves to the provisions of the 1992 Constitution. And if this government and those who find themselves in authority are not acting, I mean, some of these things will be witnessing. And it's clearly telling us that things are falling apart. The center cannot hold. Mayor Anaki is loosening upon the government. And the Professor Mills-led administration is not performing. And Ghanaians should show them the exit door in 2012.
Thank you very much. Carry on.
Well, it is rather unfortunate for certain events of this nature to be unfolding in the political lineup of this country. Well, I would like to stress on the fact that certain actions should be uncalled for in the first place, because nothing causes panic and pandemonium to the state than members of a political party, the youth of a political party, actually stampeding on state properties for the sake of their own selfish pursuit. And I think it is really uncalled for. But what makes it more devastating and more scary is the fact that after all these events have unfolded, they actually locking up state institutions like NHIS at their various places. There is no action done by the security apparatus of this country, which obviously the government is in control. So it makes it scary, and it raises certain moral issues and issues of good governance by this government. You see, I'm tackling this issue from a patriotic perspective, looking at it from that angle. You see, it raises eyebrows on the good governance approach the government is using. How well is the government controlling or executing its executive functions? Because I can tell you as a matter of fact that it is really dangerous. You see, should it have been the youth of other political parties, what would have happened? Obviously, the government will have confronted the security network of this country to take action, even if they don't take the initiative to do so. So it raises issues of good governance and how well the government is protecting the rule of law that is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution of this country. So it is rather an unfortunate event. And what hurts me the most is always the government comes out to condemn these acts. But just condemning these acts